Our contemplative life is a life of transformation,
of loving and giving,
of sharing Jesus' service,
prayer and work,
an open mystery,
desire for God,
faith, hope,
a life of communion with God, steeped in prayer, community, and times of quiet.
Love, surrender, and community.
Being in love with God.
Interconnected with all creation.
Embracing the world.
When a woman first contacts me about the monastery, about our life, to me it means she's searching. It's not about, oh, this person wants to be a nun, let's get her. That's not it at all. It's about, where is God calling the person?
Discernment is a process of coming to know God's dreams for us, and it looks different based on each person who's co-dreaming with God, but I think the heart of it, as the sisters say here and other religious, is prayer. I came for Pentecost Sunday in 2019, and the minute I walked out of the chapel, I knew my life had changed forever. 2 weeks later, I reached out to Sister Judy via email and asked what she might recommend, and she suggested I come for another Sunday Mass and then invited me in for coffee afterward, and we had a great chat. So she guided me through an initial process of coming to know some of the Carmelite saints, and then the community invited me to several of their community events. And then after that, they invited me for a discernment weekend retreat.
It has been really gratifying to have so many young women who have come to see this life, to experience the monastic weekend. You know, some have come and said, oh, this is not what I wanted, and that's fine, that's the purpose of it. But others have come and said, oh, this is really it. This really helps me to find my way. I'm really glad I did this, and I want to keep my relationship up and discern further with you.
One of the sisters, Sister Monica, shared with me this metaphor for discernment that was of jazz improvisation, and this idea that discerning God's will, God's dreams for our life, is much like two soloists trading fours. God puts down a beat, we respond. For me, the first beat was Pentecost. My response was, in fear, sending the email. God's response was the community inviting me to come to get to know them. My response was, despite the fear, saying yes, and the invitation was to trust.
After a woman has an initial conversation with Sister Judy, if she feels it would be appropriate, she'll invite her to our Saturday morning discernment chats, which happen virtually. And here, a woman can begin to interact with other women who are also interested in Carmelite spirituality and who are open to a contemplative vocation. It's so important to be able to connect with others who are seeking God and who are asking similar questions.
When a woman begins to live with us as part of the monastic experience, we meet with her regularly. We offer this space for dialogue and questions about our Carmelite life. It is a gentle process of mutual knowledge and discernment.
When I first started coming around, as some of the nuns say, and visiting the monastery, I thought I was crazy. I didn't know anyone else who was discerning religious life, let alone someone in their young 20s. I think I had a lot of misconceptions about the life. The monastic experience has been, for me, the opportunity to live the question, what is God's dream for me as it relates to Carmel? I get to live side by side with the sisters and accompany them through life. They accompany me through life. I live the life, and that's a real gift. As part of the monastic experience, I'm studying with Sister Connie and Sister Celia the writings of the well-known Carmelite saints. I've been able to study theology in a much more meaningful way than I ever thought I would, because here the sisters invite me to live it.
One of the misconceptions about this life, about Carmelite life, is that it's disengaged from the world, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We are really rooted in the anxieties and cares and concerns of this world.
It is a life of contemplative prayer, it's a life of silence, it's a life of solitude, it's a life where you may not see any results of what you do. And it's a life of deep faith.
My time here for this monastic experience has inflamed my love for God. I feel like I've been romanced by and fallen deeply in love with God. And I think it's a love with questions, right, in terms of this life, but those questions have an energy that's carrying me forward. There's a peace about them. I look forward to continuing to dance with God and trust that in that dance, God will show me what my soul seeks.
Our Carmelite saints have gifted us with a rich tradition of seeking union with God for the transformation of the world. Teresa of Avila, John of the Cross, Teresa of Lisieux, they lived this vision for their time. And now we're called to bring their vision forward and to live it for our time with the cares and concerns, the needs and the desires of our world today. How we bring those to prayer, how we speak about those. And we're paving the way so that the women who will come after us will be able to carry this vision forward for a new time. Know that we hold you in prayer, and we invite you to come and to journey with us, to see how we live, to see how we love, and to see how our desire and passion for God and our care for the world might resonate with you.